One of them can drive its fangs straight through the skull of its prey and crack open the armored shell of a turtle like it's nothing. One of them can leap the length of a school bus in a single bound and kill an animal many times its own size. And one of them is so small and so rare that most people have never even heard its name, hunting in mountains so high the thin air can barely keep a human being on their feet. 3 animals. One question: what do they have in common? They're all wildcats, and every single one of them is prowling the Americas right now. When most people picture a wildcat in this part of the world, they think of one, maybe 2. But the Americas, from the frozen forests of Canada all the way down to the windswept tip of Patagonia, are home to a whole hidden dynasty of them. Giants and miniatures, snow ghosts and rainforest phantoms, cats you could live your whole life beside and never once see. We're going to count down the wildcats of the Americas, ranked by one thing only: raw power. Not just size, bite force, killing ability, strength for their weight, the whole picture of what makes a predator formidable. We'll start with the smallest and climb all the way to a single animal that is, pound for pound, the most powerful cat left on the entire planet. And by the time we get there, you'll understand why the biggest cat on this list is not the strongest. But first, let's clear up the confusion that trips almost everyone. People throw around panther, puma, cougar, mountain lion, and catamount as if they're 5 different animals. They are not. They are the exact same cat. One species which actually holds the world record for the animal with the most names. And a black panther? That's not a species at all. It's just a jaguar or a leopard born with dark fur. Here's the frame that governs this entire ranking. Power is not the same as size. The way a cat is built, the length of its jaw, the muscle packed behind its bite, and the leverage stored in its legs matters far more than the number on a scale. Keep that in mind because the countdown is about to prove it. Let's start small. Very small. Number 9. The pocket predators. We begin not with one cat, but with a whole cast of them, because South America hides a collection of miniature felines most people never learn exist. There's the guina, also called the codcod, the smallest cat in all of the Americas, weighing as little as 3 pounds, small enough to curl up in your 2 cupped hands. There's the oncilla, the little tiger cat, and the margay, a wide-eyed forest acrobat. Don't mistake them for harmless kittens, though. The margay is arguably the most acrobatic cat on the planet. It can rotate its ankles a full 180 degrees, which lets it run straight down a tree trunk headfirst and even dangle from a branch by a single back foot, like a squirrel armed with claws and fangs. These are flawless, pocket-sized hunters, but in a ranking built on raw power, they sit at the very bottom, because power is the one thing they don't have. They're marvels of agility, not force. And the next cat survives in a place that would kill almost anything above it on this list. Number 8. The Andean mountain cat. High in the Andes, above 12,000 feet, in a thin, frozen, oxygen-starved world where humans gasp for breath, lives one of the rarest and least known cats on Earth. The Andean mountain cat is small, roughly the size of a large house cat. Cloaked in thick ash-gray fur, with a huge banded tail it wraps around its body like a scarf against the killing cold. It is so elusive that for decades scientists had only a handful of blurry photographs of it in the wild. Some researchers spend entire careers and never see one. It survives by hunting mountain viscachus, rabbit-like rodents of the high peaks, across some of the most brutal terrain on the continent. To the indigenous peoples of the Andes, it is a sacred animal, appearing in ceremonies and folklore stretching back centuries, revered as a spirit of the mountains. It earns its place here not through muscle, but through something almost as impressive: the raw toughness to survive where strength alone would never be enough. Still, in a straight contest of force, it's outmatched by nearly everything above it, which brings us to a cat that barely looks like a cat at all. Number 7. The Grassland hunters. Down in the open country of southern South America live 2 tough little cats that trade rainforest for wind and grass, Jeffroy's cat and the pampas cat. Jeffroy's cat is a small, boldly spotted predator, one of the most common wildcats in the southern cone, a fierce and capable hunter of rodents and birds, despite tipping the scales at under 10 pounds. The pampas cat, shaggier and more variable, patrols grasslands and scrub from the Andes to the Atlantic District. These are hardy, adaptable survivors, a genuine step up in strength and killing ability from the tiny forest cats. They'll take on prey their own size without hesitation, but they're still small-bodied specialists, and the next cat outweighs them, outreaches them, and hunts in broad daylight in a way almost no other feline does. Number 6. The jaguarundi. This one genuinely confuses people. The jaguarundi is long, low, and slinky, with a small, flattened head, stubby legs, and a long tail, so weasel-like, so otter-like in its shape and movement, that people who spot one crossing a road often swear they saw something other than a cat. It comes in 2 color forms, a rusty red and a smoky charcoal gray, and it breaks the feline rulebook by being active in the daytime. Ranging all the way from the southern United States down through Central and South America, the jaguarundi is a quick, tenacious hunter of birds, rodents, and reptiles, and a big one can reach around 20 pounds. It's stronger and more substantial than every cat below it, but it's built for chasing down small, fast prey, not for overpowering anything large. And now we cross a line, because the next 3 cats are the ones you might actually recognize, and they hit a completely different weight class. Number 5. The ocelot. Here is where serious strength enters the picture. The ocelot is a stunning, muscular, medium-sized cat draped in a coat of chain-like rosettes and stripes so beautiful it was very nearly wiped out by the fur trade in the 20th century. Twice the size of a house cat and built with real power, it prowls the forests and thorn scrub from the edge of Texas down deep into South America. The ocelot is a formidable nocturnal hunter of rabbits, rodents, birds, fish, monkeys, and reptiles, and it is an excellent climber and swimmer that follows prey into the trees and the water. Each cat patrols a large territory it defends fiercely, and unusually for a small cat, ocelots have been known to take on prey as large as young deer. It carries far more raw muscle than anything we've met so far, and it dominates the small cat world it lives in. In the United States, it clings on by a thread, with fewer than 100 thought to survive in the brushlands of southern Texas, making it one of the rarest cats in the country. But it's still fundamentally a hunter of modest prey, and it's about to be overshadowed by 2 northern cats that routinely kill animals many times their own weight. Meet the pair that owns the snow. Number 4. The Canada lynx. The Canada lynx is a ghost of the northern boreal forest, a cat with enormous furred snowshoe paws that let it float across deep powder that would swallow other predators whole. Long back legs, plush silver gray fur, and dramatic black tufted ears finish the picture. It weighs only around 20 to 30 pounds, but every ounce of it is specialized equipment. The lynx has staked its entire existence on a single prey animal, the snowshoe hare. Its numbers rise and crash in near-perfect rhythm with the hares, one of the most famous predator-prey cycles in all of biology. When the hares boom, the lynx boom. When the hares vanish, so do the cats. It's a precision instrument, exquisitely tuned to its cold, narrow world. But precision isn't the same as brute power, and its southern cousin is the tougher, more versatile brawler. Number 3. The bobcat. Pound for pound, the bobcat may be the scrappiest cat on the continent. Often no bigger than a lynx, sometimes as light as 20 pounds, this stub-tailed, tuft-eared predator is also the most common and widespread wild cat in North America, and by far the most adaptable, thriving in deserts, swamps, forests, and the wooded edges of suburbs, frequently within a mile of people who have no idea it's there. And here's what vaults it above the bigger, more specialized cats below it. A bobcat weighing barely 20 pounds can bring down an adult deer several times its own weight, leaping onto its back and driving home a killing bite to the throat. It punches astonishingly far above its size, and almost nothing can wipe it out. There are an estimated 2 to 3 million of them roaming North America right now, more than every other wild cat on the continent combined, and most people will never see one, because they are that good at staying hidden. It's fierce, versatile, and relentless. But it is still, in the end, a mid-sized cat, and now we reach the true heavyweights of the Americas. The final 2 are a different order of animal entirely. Number 2. The puma. The puma, the cougar, the mountain lion, whatever name you grew up with, is the second largest cat in the Americas and one of the most extraordinary athletes in the entire animal kingdom. A big male can weigh up to 200 pounds and stretch 8 feet from nose to tail tip. And its legs are the stuff of legend. A puma can leap as high as 18 feet straight up into a tree, and clear 30 to 40 feet in a single horizontal bound, roughly the length of a school bus. It holds the largest range of any land mammal in the Western Hemisphere, from the Canadian Yukon down to the southern Andes, at home in deserts, mountains, rainforests, and swamps alike. It stalks in close and then explodes onto large prey, deer, elk, animals far heavier than itself, killing with a single crushing bite to the neck or the base of the skull, then dragging the carcass away and caching it under leaves and dirt to feed for days. It's a patient, silent assassin. It doesn't chase, it waits, sometimes creeping to within a few feet of an animal before the final rush. It can't roar like the true big cats, instead it purrs, chirps, and lets out a scream that has terrified people in the dark for centuries. In sheer size and leaping power, nothing on this continent can touch it. And yet, incredibly, it is not the strongest cat here, because as promised, the biggest is not the most powerful. That title belongs to a cat built lower, heavier, and more devastating. Number 1. The jaguar. This is the king of the Americas, and it earns the crown outright. The jaguar is the largest cat in the Western Hemisphere and the third largest on Earth, a compact, massively muscled predator that can weigh well over 200 pounds, wrapped in a golden coat scattered with black rosettes. Where the puma is engineered for leaping, the jaguar is engineered for overwhelming force, a barrel chest, a huge blocky head, and short, tremendously powerful jaws. And those jaws are the whole story. The jaguar has the strongest bite, relative to its size, of any big cat on the planet, around 1,500 pounds per square inch, proportionally stronger than a lion or even a tiger. The secret is in the build. Its jaws are slightly shorter than other big cats, which increases the leverage, and the muscles driving them are arranged for maximum crushing force. While nearly every other big cat kills by clamping the throat and suffocating its prey, the jaguar does something almost no other cat dares. It bites directly through the skull, punching its fangs into the brain. It cracks open turtle shells. It hunts caiman, armored, thrashing relatives of the crocodile, seizing them in the water and dragging them ashore. And unlike most cats, the jaguar loves the water. It's a powerful swimmer that hunts fish, turtles, and caiman in the rivers of the Amazon and the Pantanal, often lounging half-submerged in the heat. A century ago, it prowled as far north as the American Southwest, and every so often a lone male still crosses the border into Arizona, a fleeting ghost of a range that once stretched into the United States. Its name comes from an indigenous word often translated as "he who kills with one leap." Pound for pound in bite force and killing power and sheer structural strength, no cat alive anywhere on Earth surpasses it. It is, without qualification, the most powerful wild cat in the Americas. So line them all up, from the 3-pound cod that fits in your hands to the skull-crushing jaguar that drags crocodilians out of rivers, and the ranking tells a story bigger than any single animal. But there's one last thing you have to know to understand it fully. Because as mighty as the jaguar is, it is only the last heir of a far greater dynasty. Just 11,000 years ago, these same lands were ruled by cats that make even the jaguar look modest. There was the American lion, one of the largest cats that ever lived, as much as a quarter bigger than today's African lion, a quarter-ton hunter that stalked North America until the end of the last ice age. And beside it prowled Smilodon, the saber-toothed cat, its forelimbs so thick and powerful it could pin prey the size of a bison and drive 7-inch fangs into its throat. These were the true titans, the most powerful cats the New World ever produced, and they vanished in the same great extinction that swept away the mammoths. That's the humbling truth beneath this whole countdown. The cats that survive today, magnificent as they are the last of a royal line that was once far grander, and they're still slipping away, squeezed out of shrinking forests, quietly disappearing far faster than most people realize. Almost none of them are any threat to you. They are shy, secretive, and wanting nothing more than to be left alone. So the next time someone tells you the only real big cats live in Africa or Asia, you'll know better. You'll know the New World raised its own line of kings, that one of them still hunts these forests tonight with the strongest bite of any cat alive, and that the ghosts of the greatest of them are still down there, written into the bones beneath our feet.